All right, so glad to have you with us today. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a morning.
It's been a great morning.
We're closer to each other than we normally are.
I know. Everything shifts around in here. What do you do when I'm sleeping at night?
Dude, I don't think I normally am a little over
I'm
to my
beginning to wonder.
to my right.
It's like something comes in here in the middle of the night and uses our studio.
All right.
You actually rearranged some things and organized it, which I'm extremely
there. I got your bright light.
impressed
I got the
by.
bright light off of you. That bright light screen.
Oh yeah,
is
much better.
much better.
Yes,
All right,
much
so
better.
we're glad you're with us today. We're gonna. We've had a great week. We had a great Sunday. I mean, Sundays are always good. Sometimes we wish that more people would come, but we really. I mean, that's deep down in our hearts.
I was
That's a
gonna say, I think
secret.
that-
We never we always play around with
Yeah.
people with that. But I mean, it's always good. And the reason we say it is because we miss people. We love
Look, we
seeing.
said we will do this wherever two or more gather.
Two or more gather. So
Wherever
that's
two or more
the fun
gather,
part.
the Spirit is there, and the Spirit is always there.
But
You know,
it's really cool to. Okay.
It's fall. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
the weather has just been glorious, and so people are out, enjoying that.
The
and
Bulldogs are out late. I mean,
Well,
that
that's another
didn't help
thing.
anything either.
Yeah.
But we had great worship in Georgia on the north side. We had another great one on the south side in Peachtree City. We met with another location that we think is going to be fun to start up. And then we had Pensacola, which was a huge surprise. We had a ton of visitors come and just a lot of good conversations. And
Yeah, we're having
the cool thing about Pensacola, it does what all of our churches do, and people stay afterwards and talk and want to get to know each other and hang
It's
out.
a
and stuff.
family. I was thinking about
Yeah.
that. That's funny you would say that, because when I was working out this morning, I was thinking, when you're in a smaller church and you don't show up, people start asking us.
Yeah.
They start asking us,
Yeah.
well, where's so and so? Well, why is so and so not here anymore? And so, you and you and I talk about that. Sometimes people, they
stay. I'm sorry.
they move churches because of their career and their neighborhood and where their kids want to go, and that's something that just happens. But I think we forget sometimes that when you're part of a church, if you're part of a healthy church, when you're not there, all of a sudden people do notice. And
Yeah,
so
some people don't like that they leave. They don't like to be that.
And
they
not
wanna
know
be, they
why,
Want, they want to
you
be
know?
blended. They want to blend, and that's not who we are.
exactly. And that's
And they don't want to be held accountable, and
that's-
that's what we do. We hold people accountable.
That's one thing we've noticed, is that when it is small, you are noticed when you're not there, and so but you're a family, and I think that's what I was trying to get to. When you're part of a church community, it really should feel like a family.
Yeah.
And so it should be something that you feel that you belong. It should be a place where you're seen.
Yeah.
It should be a place where you can talk about the hard stuff. It should be
Yeah.
a place where you can deal with conflict in a healthy way, a biblical way. It should be a place that when you aren't there, that you long to come back, because it's people that you've connected with. And I think that's where we've gotten this whole church idea really twisted up. It's not a come and see. It's not a sporting event. You can go to a football game. You can go to a Braves game. You can have a blast. You can eat your popcorn and your hot dog and drink your beer, whatever you want to do, and you leave and you go home. And you think about that game for a few days and the good things and the bad things, but it's over. It's done. You may have met some people to the left and right of you, may have had some fun with some of the people around you, but you probably won't ever see them again. Church is not a spectator sport. It is not a come and see. It is a come and let's get you trained up and get you on the field, and let's start running the plays. You're part of a team. So anyway, when you said something about that, whether 5 come or 50 come, I hope wherever you go to worship, whether it's Overcome
That
or
you're
a different
missed.
church, that people know when you're not there.
Yeah, that you're missed.
Because it's too
Jesus
easy.
knows. I'm going to tell you right now. You have a Lord that knows when you're not there.
Well, it's too
And-
easy to show
or
up and just hear a
period.
message and leave, and then you're a consumer. Church is not meant to be consumed.
Yeah.
It's meant to be
All right, yeah.
experienced together and share together.
Yeah.
Anyway, just
All right.
that thought came to my mind. For what it's worth.
That might be a a little rip.
That's a whole sermon right
That's
there.
a little rip moment.
No, it's not.
All right, let's get into Scripture.
No, it's not. Because you know why? Because I think if the church looked different, then the world around us would look different.
Oh yeah, Lord, yeah.
Yeah. That's a sermon right there.
Yeah.
That's a 6-week intro right there.
Right. Which that's not
Anyway,
what we're studying. No,
we are talking about the little things though, and it does start with the little things of knowing what is church to you. You know what
Right.
how do you feel that you are the church? Maybe that's the question.
So Luke 16:10 says this: whoever can be trusted.
segue out.
No. This is good. So Luke 16:10 says this: whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So I think that anything that is done well, it's any company, any business, any church is built off of the very small things first. Like if you get the small things, that's like Chick-fil-A got the small things right. Like everybody else was worried about how great their hamburger tasted, or whatever
how
their
big
food,
their
or
menu
have food,
options.
whatever it was. But
Right.
but to get the Chick-fil-A discovered that to get to the food, you had to do that with excellence. So the moment you drove in, you were greeted by people that were kind, that said, "How may I help you? My pleasure." You know, they were very respectful. It was almost like walking into a concierge of a hotel. And then finally you got the product. And honestly, even if the product wasn't as great as it was the day before, you still felt like it was because all of the other little things fell into place
Consistently.
and that was consistently.
Yeah,
So
consistently.
it's no different than your walk with the Lord. You've got to first start with the small things and focus on the small things and get them done well and get them done right. And then Jesus says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. So Jesus is, for all of you guys that want to start a church and fill it with 10,000 people, you're not ready. I'm going to tell you that right now. You have to start out small. You have to get your feet wet. Then you grow into it. And Jesus does that with churches. He grows you into your ministry and your seasons, and is no different than laity. You know, when you're growing, you start out small. We've seen people start out just by giving out water, and then all of a sudden, you know, in 10 years from there, they've started a mission in Africa, feeding, you know, and creating places where people can be fed, thousands of people. So it takes time, all right? But you have to ask yourself, what is the small thing that I'm being consistent with? Mm-hmm. And this is it. It's two pieces, two sides to that coin, right? You have to know the small thing, and you have to be what? Consistent with it.
Right.
In Matthew 25:21, Jesus says this: his master replied, "Well done, a good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will now put you in charge of many things." Mm-hmm. And so the talents there, this parable of the talents is telling, because everybody gets a different talent amount, right? Some 1, some 20, some 30. I forget what the numbers are. But the people that had a lot did something. When the master came back, they multiplied their talents. But the guy with a little bit, buried it because he was afraid of the master. And so that, you know, when you invest in what God has given you, all of a sudden you're able to start to see God multiply it. Not you multiply it, but God multiply it. And now you're in a partnership with the living Lord who is working with you to do great things in this world, okay? And so I think for me, the big thing is 90% of the people out there don't even know their small thing. They haven't even identified it. They go to church on Sundays. I'm sorry, this is going to be harsh. Sorry, this is not cruel. This is not meant to be cruel, but this is reality. Go to church on Sunday. A lot of you are thinking about what you're going to be doing after church on Sunday, and will the pastor please stop speaking? And then, you know, do we have to read one more scripture? And then you're like, When you hear you're right at the end of the message and the pastor goes, and point two. You're like, that was point one. It took him 25 minutes to get through point one. So you're thinking about what you're going to do after church, and then you're off and running back into the world. Then you might come back. Statistics say you will not come back the next Sunday. More than likely, you'll take 2 to 3 weeks off, and you'll come back within a month. And probably, if you're on average, it's 6 to 8 weeks before you come back. It's 6 weeks before you come back again. Now, in between that time, I dare say you're not opening up your Bible. I don't know. I do not know. But I more than likely can bet my right arm and my entire paycheck for the year that most people are not opening up their Bible every day. They're not thinking. And therefore, they do not know their small thing. They do not know the thing that God has put in front of them to say, this is your ministry, and your small thing doesn't have 2 legs and is not 2 years old, and it's not named Zachariah or whatever you named your kid. Your small thing is not your little ones that you feed every day, and it's not your husband or wife that you take care of. It's outside of that. Your small thing, when you go out and you go live in the world, something God has called you to be and do. And I'm sorry, but you know what? If you don't know it and you're not living in it, we said to our church, it was like you could hear a pin drop on the north side. You were in the south side one. You could almost hear a pin drop there too.
Yeah, I was with the kids.
When I said I said, so let's talk about something. Let's talk about the small thing. There's something. And the small thing, I said, is the easiest thing. I want you to pick the easiest thing you can do. The small thing. The smallest and easiest thing that you can do for somebody else. And I want you to do it consistently. Are you got that? You've got that right in your head. And everybody looked at me and goes, and I was like, Bueller. Crickets.
It's kind of like when I was taking that dance class this morning and you stood outside peeking in. And the instructor said, come on in. I said, yes, come on in, Jim. Boy, I've never seen you move so fast.
I got in there.
You darted out of that door.
I was like, this.
You darted out of that doorway so fast. And so I think when we have those moments that are convicting, it's like, get me out of here.
As fast as you can.
Get out of here.
So, but think about this. If you don't even know your small thing, then how can Matthew 25:21 come true in your life? How can Luke 16:10 come true in your life? Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. How can Matthew 25:21 come true? Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. Now I'll put you in charge of many. How can any of those come true if we don't even know the small thing and we're not being what? Consistent in it.
Or obedient in it. I think we're afraid to be obedient in it, and then we just blame somebody else. Say, well, I can't do it because of this, or I can't do it because I don't have enough time, or I can't. So then we make excuses, which goes back to the garden. Everybody made an excuse for what happened. But I think we do that. I think we make excuses of why we can't be first thing we have to do is be obedient with what we have. Mm-hmm. But I think for some reason we don't do it. I don't know if it's for fear of not feeling like we're qualified, or that we're not good enough, or that people will judge us, or that what if I don't know everything, or maybe it is truly just I don't have enough time. Whatever it is, I think we can pile on. Look, we all know what excuses look like. We can pile on excuses and not be obedient first. We first have to be obedient. Then, when it doesn't quite go the way we expected, we have to might listen to the Holy Spirit. Maybe we jumped in too quickly. Maybe we need to redial that back a little bit and make sure we're moving in the Spirit and not in our own flesh, because that will fail for sure. But then we got to keep doing it. We got to keep doing it. So if God said, I want you to take waters to the people that are on the street every day, I want you to do that. Just take a bottle of water. Chances are the first time you do it, somebody's going to look at you and say, what is this for? Or it might make you uncomfortable, whatever it is. What are you doing right now?
I'm about to read a scripture.
Okay. I could see you on your phone. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It might not be comfortable. Chances are, in fact, when we're obedient in something that God is pushing us to do, it's not comfortable at first. But if we're consistent with it, what happens? We start building a relationship. We start seeing that person that sees us come by and do that every day knows that we're coming by the next day to do it. So I think we sometimes think consistency is first. Consistency is the overflow of obedience. You have to first be obedient, in whatever it is. So if you say, I'm going to get up and read my Bible every day, okay. Well, if you do it consistently, it will bear fruit. It can't not bear fruit. But if you do it Sunday morning and then maybe Monday morning and then you don't touch it again until the following Sunday, your obedience and consistency are not working together.
Well,
so
and let's even put it like this. Who goes to work on Monday and decides not to go till Friday?
You don't have a job if you do that.
Who decides to love their wife or their husband on Tuesday and then doesn't come back around till next Friday?
That is not a loving marriage.
Right. So you got to be consistent. I'm going to guarantee you this. We're all consistent when it comes to the things of the world. Every one of us is consistent when it comes to getting on Amazon. I'm very consistent. When it comes to spending money, very consistent.
Watching
when it comes
a TV show
watching
every week.
when it comes to doing things that pleasure me during the day and
You
filling
find
my
time,
belly,
don't you?
we find time,
You
man.
don't have a hard time
we
finding
don't have a hard time finding time. So when it comes to the things of the kingdom and the things, spiritual things, Jesus is asking us to be consistent. And so that's important, because when Jesus asks us to be consistent, what happens is it affects our character. All right. And this is what I was looking up when you chastised me.
No, I just wasn't sure because I thought you were scrolling on your phone.
I'm doing Candy Crush.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no.
We have
Matthew 24:45. So this is what it says. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds them doing so when he returns. Truly, I tell you, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time, and he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards. The master of that servant will come on that day when he does not expect him, in an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And so I think that when we start to be consistent, it starts to develop what we call a character, and therefore you do things even though nobody is watching. You do things. It becomes like breathing. It becomes something you just do because it is now a part of you.
Right.
And all of a sudden when you start to say, okay, well, I've got a 12-pack of water in the back of my car and I'm giving it out to people that are hot. Or I've got sweaters in the back of my car and it's cold, and I'm giving it out to people who are on the side of the road cold. When you don't have those sweaters, all of a sudden the first thing you think of, because it's in your character, I got to get more sweaters. That's the first thing you think of before you leave the house. Where are my sweaters? Where's my water? Because you're not now thinking of what you have to do. You're thinking of what God's going to do in and through you during the day. You're prepared. You're getting prepared. All right. Might not be anybody you meet, but that's okay. You're prepared because it's a part of your character. And that's where consistency comes in. Noah built an ark. Didn't take him a week. Didn't take him a month. It didn't take him a year. It took him years and years to build the ark. Every day he got up consistently to do what? To go hammer on that thing. Mm-hmm. He didn't even know what rain looked. The scriptures say he didn't even know what that looked. What was a boat? If there was no water.
And what was rain?
What was rain? The scriptures make a point. I think everybody overlooks that. I've overlooked that even in my walk.
God watered it.
God watered it just through the terra in the firma.
Yeah, it was like a terrarium.
Yeah, so they ain't ever seen that stuff that fell from the sky, and here he is building this monstrosity on God's instructions.
And think about his peer group. Think about his peers.
Telling him to stop.
And his wife. I mean, think about him. They all probably thought he had lost his ever-loving mind. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I think that when we follow that still small voice, that nudge in our spirit, the first thing, and it's going to be the people closest to you, they're going to go, why would you do that? Why would you don't have time to do that?
You don't have the energy to do that.
You don't have the energy to do that.
Yeah.
You're crazy. When are you going to figure that? And so I think that's the hardest part, is that when we do feel God's call on our life to do this little thing, you know, and we share it with people that we love, and they give us that kind of feedback back. We have to think about Noah, where everybody probably thought he was insane until the stuff started coming out of the sky, and the water started to
and Noah took the mic and went drop. He did a mic drop as everybody washed away, and he's
it's
in
like
his
all
boat.
aboard.
All aboard.
I got my group that I was supposed to get on the boat, you know, and so. But I think that I think that is a stumbling block to our obedience, is because people around us talk us out of it, and 9 times out of 10, if we do have this little nudge, we don't really want to do it because A, it's going to cause us to get out of our comfort zone. B, it's going to cost something. It's going to cost your time. It's going to cost your resources. It's going to cost your energy. It's going to cost your pride, because it might fail. You know, it's going to cost something. There is a cost to it. You know, so we start sitting here going, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to put myself out there, let my friends tear it apart and make fun of me for doing it, and possibly fail?
Yeah.
Just a lot easier.
But your character is shaped by it.
Yes, it's a lot easier to just not do it. But when we do it, when we see, and then when we see how God works through that, you know, then we get to see and know how God moves through the world. I mean, we read about the heroes of our faith in Hebrews 11, you know, and we fail to remember the story's still being written. You know, it's still, God is still using people to accomplish what he needs done on this earth. But, you know, we're not obedient in the little things. And then when it gets hard, we're not consistent. So
think about what you're doing consistently. And if it has nothing to do with Jesus, then you know exactly what you're good at. You know exactly what you're good at. You're good at not following Christ. You're good at not being obedient. You're good at not listening. You're good. And I'm going to tell you, that's a dangerous place to be, because all of a sudden you will get to the end of your life and go, how did I include God in anything that I did? Yeah, I might have gone to church. Yeah, I might have given some money. Yeah, I might. But during your walk with Christ, you didn't do anything but everything that you wanted to do. And that's, I mean, at the least, you were like going, okay, Lord, I want to talk to you every day. I want to surrender to you every day. I want to thank you every day. But you're not doing those things either, because you're not you're not even surrendering anything. So you're not going to surrender that as well. So your walk with Christ becomes very foreign, and he still loves you, and he still says, I died for you. But what a wasted life, you know? I mean, just absolutely what a wasted life. And and you're supposed to be a world changer. You're not supposed to be a kid raiser. You're not supposed to be a job goer, a money maker. You're supposed to be a world changer. All those other things are just secondary to that. Those other things are gifts, icing on the cake. You know, okay, great. I go get to start a business. Oh, great. I go get to do, you know, I go get to be a painter, or I get to be an actor, or I get to whatever the heck it is you want to do. I don't know what it is you want to do, but it comes in line with, in parallel to what God is calling you to be and do. And I mean, if you've ignored that, then I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to say this, you are feeling it. In some deep down way, you're going, there's something more.
Yeah,
Got to be something more.
Missing.
Something's missing, something more, something. Why do I feel like, okay, I just won an Oscar, but why do I feel just still empty? Why do I need 2 or 3 of those things? I just bought a brand new house. Why do I need to go earn more to go buy another one or upgrade it? Or it's always the same Satan cycle of living in the world, and it just doesn't add fruit. So your character is either of the world or it is of the kingdom. It's one of those two things. And I'd rather you have a character being shaped by the kingdom and fail daily in that than have it shaped by the world and not even notice where the kingdom is asking you to be and do. You know, I'd rather you be absolutely, at least know that there is a God that wants you to walk with him and know that it's important, and get it wrong 9 times out of 10, but at least you're swinging. Okay. At least you're swinging. And, I think millions of people are not even swinging. I think they're just trying, and that's not a judgment thing. Our job is to wait. This is something that, if you think we're speaking these words so that we can go, everybody else do it, we struggle with it. It's our struggle too. We don't talk about things that we are not passionate about for our own lives. We can become lethargic. We can become complacent. We become, well, the heck with it. People just stink. I'm not dealing with this nonsense any longer. I'm going to go and just live on an island, you know? No, you know, every one of us need to hear this and to understand that every day we can either shape it to look like the kingdom,
right,
or shape it to look like us, that we become the gods of our own lives. So maybe we're going to end it. We're going to end it right there. We're going to get you to think about that. Where is the small thing? If you can't even identify it, then it's time to hit the huge reset in your life right now. In the last quarter of your life, go find a church. No, let me rephrase. Go find the Bible. Open it.
Yeah, find
and
the word.
Read it.
Find
the word before you go find a preacher to tell you what it says.
Yes.
Go find the truth first in the word. Daily make a commitment to it. Daily start praying with your family. Daily start asking God to shape you. Daily ask him to put you in front of what he wants to do and to open your eyes. Then go look for a place to worship, and then you'll at least know the truth before you hear everybody else make a version of it.
Right.
And you know, and when you do that, now you're walking. Now you are saying, you know what? The world is behind me. The cross is in front of me. And
Amen.
Now I can start living my life in the small things consistently, and allowing that to make my character a light for the world to see. All right. Ooh, that was a mouthful.
It's a lot.
All right. We love you.
It is a lot. I mean,
And
it is
we'll
because
see you.
it convicts all of us to really think about our life and our schedule
definitely.
and
Me
what we
too.
do and what do we want to leave? You know, what's the legacy that we want to leave? And
What are we going to do after this? Maybe we should go see a movie.
I actually have Bible study emails. I've got a lot of people I need to.
That was a joke. That was a bad joke.
Communicate and
All right.
contact.
That was a bad joke.
But yeah, remember,
Choices.
obedience in the little things.
Amen.
Obedience in the little things.
We can't wait to be obedient again tomorrow morning with the men at 6:30, 5:30 Pensacola time, and then again with you Thursday morning, and again Thursday evening on the dock. Awesome stuff happening there. Can't wait to see you in Pensacola. Then back again in Georgia, because we love you. We can't wait to share the love of Jesus with you.
Have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.